Fernandito? AG, can you guys hear me out there?
Hey, Sean, I don't know if they're in yet.
All right, awesome. Well, good morning to everybody. You can hear me though, Chaz? We're live?
We are live.
All right, awesome, guys. Hey, good morning out there to everybody. Happy Why Wednesday. Coming off of a Trajectory Tuesday, we had a powerful call last night leaning into executive creation and decision-making time. So if you're on the call last night, did you begin this morning with 15 minutes of ECD time? I had the unique privilege of doing so this morning, and what became very present for me is the power of intentionality. The power of stepping into our own frame as opposed to other people's frame, and the dynamic, the ongoing dynamic discussion between how do we convey who we are, step into things, and deal with all the different dynamics of people and humanity. So, where do you sit in the space of pleasing of people? Where do you sit in the space of living your truth as conversation points to begin today? Where are you in that space? Like, what's present for you? And as you look at your life, when powerful, amazing, and awesome things happen for people, do you love unconditionally? Like, do you love unconditionally? Where do we sit in that space each and every day? I was present to those dynamics and thinking of where I judge and I blame. But I think, anchoring on this dynamic, when people experience incredible and beautiful and wonderful things in their life, do we sit in the space of being joyful, happy, and excited for them? And I want to lean into a micro distinction in the interplay for people of being healthy, competitive, right? Like being competitive in a healthy way versus envious and blame and judgment. So, and I want to anchor on some of the privileges that I had as an Emerson football player as a youth versus where I was at Columbia as a college baseball player. So when I was at Emerson, we came into our freshman year. Many of you heard me share these stories without very high expectations, and things went great. And that's not the point of the story. But the point is that Coach Slazak and Coach Karsich, our freshman high school football coaches, immediately taught us about healthy competition and said that your team, your brothers, and your job is to push and challenge each other at the highest level of intensity, like open confront, competing, numbers, like lifting, hitting, like we hit. So think of this, like there was a level of physical aggression and violence. Like football is a violent sport where we would hit, tackle each other at full speed. I'll never forget Tom Filatico, who's here as a part of Unblinded, right? Was, coach said to walk, essentially move through a play, right? Where I was like standing there as a blocker. And, in a lot of ways on a football field, you'd think that somebody would move at half speed. So Tom came out and around and hit me like full throttle, full force in what I thought was sort of going to be like a walkthrough exercise. This might've been the second week of practice. And Coach Slazak went nuts. And he's like, yes, he's like, that's what it is. Like we're hitting at full speed all the time because it makes one another better. Like number one, because it makes one another better. The more that we are aggressively accelerating, competing, and acknowledging and applauding one another for that, the better off we're going to be. And you know what's like pretty interesting and wild is for a lot of us, or a lot of people in the world, maybe not you, maybe not people here, we live vicariously through athletes and sports stars. And athletes and sports stars push each other at the highest levels, right? But the teams that win and succeed are teams that remain a team, despite the fact that if there's 53 players, there's only 11 starting on offense, 11 starting on defense. That means there's 22 people starting and there's 31 people not starting. So so all through high school, it was this like brotherhood that nobody complained about getting the ball or not getting the ball. Because right, there's only one football every play. So not only do you compete to be a starting player, it's like who has the ball. But at Columbia, let me go back to in high school, everybody was happy for each other. no matter who scored, no matter what happened. And I remember the Hasbrook Heights football game, which was the greatest athletic night of my life. I didn't catch a pass. So my only game my senior, I didn't catch a pass. It was one of the best games I've ever played in my life defensively. There was nothing to be like, look at what I did that would show up to a fan in the stands. And each and every one of us like wept at the end of the game, including me, because I was a part of something larger than myself. And I contributed in the ways that made the most sense for the team to contribute that night. And it wasn't to catch passes. It was to do my job to stop a star running back when that person ran around my side, right? In college at Columbia, there were like factions and division, and we didn't have a ton of success during those years. And if you ever Google Sean Callaghan, Columbia baseball, you'll see an article going into my senior year talking about positive leadership. And when I was at Columbia, a lot of people were doing drugs, not judging. They were drinking all the time. I never drank alcohol ever during the season. And I was committed. I was the first guy in the weight room, the last guy out all the time. And so many people wanted to like take shortcuts. They wanted to, gossip and backbite against other people. And our team was resoundingly not successful. There was like personal success. A lot of guys had personal success, but there wasn't team success because people weren't like, here's the deal. People, when other people were batting, other people in the lineup, people were literally rooting against each other. Not every player, not all the time, but it was like substantially and meaningfully present. And it was so wildly different for me. And truth be told, I think it had a lot to do with the leadership. The leadership wasn't integrating like people together. It wasn't energy. There wasn't fun. Like in Emerson, it was insane intensity. And there was laughing and fun energy and crying and fear and confronting of fears, everything. And that's the culture that we're creating here at Unblinded. It's to challenge each other to get better in mastery, to challenge each other to have more ecosystem mergers, more speaking, but not rooting that somebody else has less. Not rooting that somebody else has less. It's rooting and hoping that other people have more, so we're inspired and challenged. And from the day I heard Tony Robbins spoke 3 times a day, he said that in his personal power, he spoke 3 times a day. I said, you know what? Someday I'm going to speak more than 3 times a day. And in the last month, I spoke 110 times in a month. 110 times in a month. And it feels amazing. Because I'm like, I want to like compete in a fun, healthy way. And Tony Robbins would say the word compete means to conspire together. To conspire together. And when I grew up in Emerson, we conspired together. We conspired together. Who was stronger? Like Tom Flodick, I'll say it right now, who's the best player on a high school football team. He was the best. He was the standard. He was the standard in work ethic. He was the standard in the gym. He was the standard in hitting on the field. He was the standard in honoring like the rule structure of what we agreed to about how we would conduct ourselves at curfew and not drinking during the season. He was the standard, right? Can you be that standard? Can you be that standard? That standard in ecosystem merging, that standard in speaking. And before one would open their mouth about something, how about you look at the standard you're keeping in terms of inspiring people to accelerate in their business, to add value, to lean into your own fear, to confront yourself, to accelerate, to clean up like what is in your space of what you're creating and what you're accelerating and what you're to be modeled for. And maybe it doesn't be everything, but maybe it's 1 or 2 or 3 things. Are you that standard? Adam, Fernando, you guys out there or no?
We out here. We're jamming out to, the music in the background, and we're certainly stepping into conspiring together. So yes, we are here.
Because Fernando and Adam, you set a standard. And why do you own that standard? What is the standard that you own and set numerically to be modeled by this movement? Like Fernando, what would you say? Listen, I'm the standard at this. What is that?
So I am the standard of number of strategy sessions. Adam is the standard of time blocking like a lunatic to fill real raw opens. We're the standard to committing to high levels of mastery, pure objective critical drivers and KPIs. And they're really simple for everyone. Here, just one quick thing, and back to you, Adam or Sean. Critical drivers sound like this: number of dials, total number of talk time, total number of appointments set. As long as that's all that we measure every day, there's many other things to measure, But if that's the only thing we measure every day, we win. And that, zone action equals freedom. Adam, anything you care to add to that?
I just love the conspiring, because no matter what, there's friendly banter back and forth and challenging of each other. But there's nobody that celebrates Fernando's wins more than I do. And there's nobody that celebrates my wins more than he does. We without question, bring each other to levels that we don't even think probably for ourselves are possible.
Yeah, and on some fun energy, it's also, as much as we celebrate our victories, there's nothing more hilarious than Adam calling me and saying, dude, like 5 people hung up on me today. I find that hilarious. Just like when I have strategy sessions and I don't do what I got to do on the strategy sessions, Adam giggles, and then we say, get back on the court, and we do what we got to do. So it's a fun competitive game, and it keeps us constantly, rising in our mastery.
Yeah. And amazing. And as we think about that, like, who are you conspiring with? Like, what standard are you going to set? Put in the chat. What standard are you going to set? What are you going to drive? What are you going to grow? What are you going to create? Like, what is the standard you are going to set, and put a flag in the ground and have a challenge? I spoke 110 times last month. Go speak more, or go speak to larger audiences. Go merge ecosystems, right? Think of how you can create executive, how you can set a standard for executive creation, decision-making time. That is incredible. Like, Richard Branson owns this island. I mean, just look at this place. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. If you ever saw Batman with Michael Keaton, like, this is the table down like by the beach in Ocean House. That doesn't have to be your standard, but think of what's possible that one person can create. Like, what's possible? This is one dude with partners and people and teammates and employees, but it's a vision that was created to do this. One human. Yes, Adam.
No, I wanted to just also tell one more quick story. I think I may have told it before, but I'll tell it again. At ADP, there was a gentleman and a peer who challenged me and said, I'm going to have more sales than you, payroll sales we were selling throughout the country over the phone this year. Then I'm gonna beat you. And we were, friends. We were. I was helping him. I was his mentor. And I said, there's no chance you're beating me. And sure enough, every single day, me and him went head to head. We would who would stay longer, who would make more calls. We had fun. We celebrated each other. When we would find like little tips, we would still show each other and help each other. And we went back and forth every single day. And sure enough, by the end of the year, what do you think happened? We finished 1 and 2 in the entire country because we were so committed to going up against each other. And I did finish 1, by the way, I know, just not from that.
I love it. I love it. So,
but that's how we finished.
And for you, are you in fake confusion? Are you in, I'm going to get started? Are you like Lori, who's like, I think I'm going to cancel all my Raw opens. It's like the holidays. And then she's like, I'm going to do 1 a week. Like, here we go. I'm stepping in. I'm freeing friction. Like, let's go. Like, Lori, I'm so proud of you and stepping into your energy and your acceleration, right? In making incredible things happen. Fun fact, right? You want to talk about wins? So I had the privilege for my morning exercise routine of swimming to an island, from Necker Island to a small island. Adam, is that a fun way to start the day?
Yes. I'm a little jealous. Not really, but just that.
Yeah, I got to start my morning to Adam's voice. I love you, Adam, but I'm going to go ahead and choose the island on this one.
And especially when you hung up to my voice late last night as well. So that's
amazing. So at this table yesterday were the incredible entrepreneurs of this island, and one of those entrepreneurs is a woman named Brittany. Okay, so little fun fact, and here's my fun competitive mojo, right? So there's all these incredible entrepreneurs that are here, and Brittany owns an island. She owns the island next door, and she is opening her island for her first event on Saturday. And so I spoke for 5 minutes yesterday, and Brittany owns an island. These are not uninitiated people, right? This is not somebody who has not seen and heard incredible things. And so Fernando folks. Brittany, I just met her, saw this morning after the swim to the island. And Brittany said, "Hey, can I ask you a question?" I said, "Yeah." She said, would you come to the opening of my island on Saturday? I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, it'd be amazing." And she's like, I was wondering if you would do me the honor of being the first speaker ever on my island to open my island.
Can't make this up, man. You just can't make this up, man.
So that happened. So on Saturday, we will be opening an island, which is going to be a place for incredible masterminds and entrepreneurs, a future place of unblinded events. I am not confused. And I have the privilege and honor of being the first speaker ever on Brittany's island. So that is what it looks like. And so if
That's
anybody,
cool.
Go ahead, Adam. What did you say, bud?
No, I said that is cool.
I like in the chat, ready? Who's shocked that this is reality? Because I'm not. But like, just like, who's like, oh my God, we never saw this. Sean, no way. None of this is shocking. But it truly is like a shot of dopamine and joy. And this right here is an example of conspiring, because Sean's little grin, he knows how exciting this is and how it's going to make us feel. So thank you, sir. This is way better than a couple follows on Instagram. Is a fellow co-founder, like initiating a speaking engagement on an island. Like, that's a heroic, unique identity trait that I could use today. That's amazing.
And, right, and that's what's possible for every one of us. We have people in our Real Raw Open and book a speaking engagement and merge ecosystems, because the value people want is, I see you, I hear you, what you say matters to me, and they want you to be able to deliver from the microphone to make their events greater.
Boom.
This works. It's not that this works. This is the truth. This is the reality of the world. Speaking, influencing is a superpower. And when you rise in your mastery and you commit to it, this is what happens. And in every ecosystem, everywhere, the only reason it doesn't happen is when you face political, bureaucratic, backbiting, jealousy, and negativity that is going to want to keep you from being that rock star. And that'll be out there. But what's out there much more are people like Brittany everywhere. And the Brittany's of the world are waiting for you. They're waiting you to free your friction like Rory freed her friction. They're waiting for Santi. They're waiting for Jonathan. They're waiting for Andy. They're waiting for Diana. They're waiting for Andres. They're waiting for Rob. They're waiting for Michael. They're waiting for TTP. They're waiting for you. They're waiting for you to add hope, life, love, fun, aspiration, belief, heart, leadership. That's what they're looking for. And they'll know it when they see it in 5 minutes. 5 minutes in a group of leaders leading leaders. AG, final.
Leaders leading leaders, Sean. I mean, you just said it. This is what this whole movement's all about. There's many names that you left out, but I'm waiting to sit in the back of the room, like you said, and watch these rock stars do their thing and change the world.
Yeah, amazing. And I want to thank Bella, who just came up, because she's listening to Jeremy talk, and Jeremy's created like allegedly more millionaires than like any human ever. So I'm about to go hear what Jeremy's got to say about the creating millionairness. Have you been listening, Bella?
They haven't actually started yet.
That's amazing. Okay.
They were waiting for you. They didn't want to start without Sean Kyle being in the room.
Oh, amazing. You're very
One more thing, Sean. I just want to let you remember something. Go back a year ago when we were planning January 10th, 11th, and 12th, where we were in this movement and where we are right now. I just got that thought, Fernando. I wanted to inject that little thought in your minds as well. And it's amazing.
Yeah. And real quick, Bella, so just for fun fact, I dropped it, but Bella was not here for any of this. She just walked up, but she was at the other place.
Yeah.
So what's happening on Saturday?
So on Saturday, Sean was invited to be the very first speaker at Brittany's private island to open up. This is her first inaugural event, and Sean is going to be the very first speaker. And I was dropping in with her while I was over there and just telling her how much gratitude that you had and how just like the emotion that you had, this opportunity to support her on her inaugural event, and she almost cried.
Yeah, amazing. guys, this is what it looks like, right? When we step out of our comfort zone, we cause leadership amongst leaders. Love you guys. Have an amazing and incredible day. Real Raw will be coming from Necker Island, and we may have some amazing and fun guests today. So love you guys. Fernando, great job, brother.